My name is Jen Glaser. I'm the co-founder of ZippyPaws. We are a global pet and cat toy brand. We manufacture um, squeaky pet toys, leashes, cat toys, and just all pet accessories. And we focus on high quality design and high quality materials. And we love to spread the happiness to all pets worldwide.
Awesome. Awesome. So how did you find yourself in this industry and making this business? Yeah.
Yes. So my co-founder, who's also my dad, we're a small
Oh, cool.
father-daughter duo.
That's
He had
amazing.
been, thank you, and he had been in the pet toy industry for a while, for about 15 years before I started Zippy Paws. So he was manufacturing and importing toys for another dog toy brand. And when I graduated college, I wanted to start my own company, but I didn't want to take over kind of the importing business. I wanted to design my own toys. Fresh out of college, you're kind of young and naive, and your eyes are all sparkly. I want to do everything in the world. So that's what I wanted to do is I wanted to design my own toys and create my own brand, and partnered with my dad's expertise in manufacturing and sourcing. We were able to kind of use both of our talents together to create Zippy Paws and to build it to what it is today.
Wow. Okay. A lot to dig in there. Um, d- was the entrepreneurship path, was that always on your radar?
No, honestly, growing up, I wasn't sure I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted to do. I knew I was very artistic. I had my first art exhibit when I was in kindergarten, where we all put our art on the floor and we walked around the courtyard of the school. So I knew I wanted to do something related to design. I think growing up, I really wanted to be an interior designer and, all this changed. But when I was in school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but knew I wanted to do something myself, start my own business because, growing up, I've always been introduced to my dad's business and how he run things. So I really wanted to do something like that myself. I just didn't know what. So I wanted to,
Mhm.
um, work in a couple of different industries, maybe marketing at first. But, I had the opportunity to start the business with my dad. And I just took it and I just went for it. And I said, if it doesn't work out in a year or two, I can always get a big girl job again and leave that behind me. But luckily for me, it all worked out.
Mhm. Wow. That's so cool. You're combining your love of design and business. That's rare to like understand both of those things.
Yeah, and adding the third, my love for dogs. Growing up, I would always ask my parents for a dog, and they always said no. I just
Mm,
remember asking them at any point in time. Birthdays and Christmas, and every single time I wanted a dog, and my parents said no, we don't want to deal with having a dog. And when I was 13, they finally agreed. They
hey.
brought me to this neighbor's house, and she had one last puppy. It was a golden retriever. I just remember walking up
Oh.
her back steps, and like inside, I saw a cute head, a cute dog head, and I went up the steps a little more, and I saw a smaller head, and that was gonna be my dog. So that
Oh.
was like the best day of my life, as a 13-year-old. So I really wanted to bring his like joy and how he was and his character into my company. And that's what I had in the back of my mind when I created Zippy
hmm
Paws.
Oh, that's such a sweet story. Yeah, I am a fellow dog lover as well. Always been obsessed with dogs.
Yes, same, same.
They're
Yeah,
the
and as
best.
I got older, I just got more and more dogs, and now I have three. So
Oh man, I'm jealous. I
that's
only
one
have
too
one.
many, I think. I
Yeah.
think two is a good number for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Are still golden retrievers or did you mix it up?
I have one little retriever and a golden doodle that my husband brought
Oh.
into our relationship, and we got a Dalmatian together. So
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a fun pack.
Yeah, it was very, very fun.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. So how did you get traction with this with ZippyPaws?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, growing up, I saw what was happening in the pet industry. My dad took me around to trade shows with the industry, visiting his clients and visiting, people in the industry. So I had a basic understanding of the pet industry. And when I started the Paws, I knew I wanted to focus on the designs and
Mm.
bring that fresh life into what was then a pretty outdated, I would say, industry. And the designs weren't keeping up with the trends, weren't keeping up with what was happening, the innovations in the baby toy industry, or with or with other industries that move at a faster pace. So when you go into an aisle at a pet store, all the designs look pretty similar, pretty drab. The faces weren't super cute, and they weren't using the best materials. So that's what I wanted to do, was breathe that fresh life. And I wanted to design toys for my own generation, for the millennials who were starting to become pet parents themselves. I knew they would not resonate with what was on the market, so I just wanted to bring that colorful focus on the face and the eyes to draw you in, because you as a pet parent are the person that's picking the toy off the shelf, not your pet.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes it's the pet, grabbing it off the shelf, but I knew I
She
had
does
to
that.
appeal. Yes, yeah, especially on the lower levels, the
Oh
lower
yeah.
pegs in a store.
They know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. So I knew I wanted to, appeal to the younger generation of pet parents. So I designed it with them in mind. And obviously with
Mm.
my dad's, 15, 20 years of experience manufacturing in this pet industry, he knew what materials to use, and, what type
Hmm.
of sewing techniques would, make sure that the ears and the arms are very secure on a toy.
Hmm.
So, and that was my approach. And at that time, I started on selling on eBay and Amazon back in 2011. Um,
Oh
so,
wow.
so back then it's not as crowded as it is today, and I was able to get a lot of traction there, and we got a lot of good reviews organically. And on Amazon, having great reviews and a lot of reviews is really what propels you to like the front
Mm.
page when you're searching
Hmm.
for toys. So I think that really helped. As long as my products went out there, people loved the toys and came back. So my goal was to just get it out to as many people as possible.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, was there one toy or one style of toy in particular that kind of put you on the map?
Yeah, we're known for a few different lines, I would say, but I think the biggest success for us is a donut toy.
Mm.
So we
My dad
have.
loves those. He
Yes,
loves those.
that's awesome. I probably have to send you some after this interview. But yeah, we really wanted to make the donut. There were other toys that looked like donuts on the market, but we made a unique squeaker to fit the shape of the donut. So the whole donut is two squeakers inside and with no stuffing.
Oh,
And we just kind of made that a little bit unique. And then we
yeah.
also made it a little more human based, where we call them flavors. Like I had a chocolate flavor, it's just brown, right? And we have a strawberry flavor, which was pink. So it kind
Mhm.
of allowed people to be like, oh, I love chocolate donuts, I want to get my dog one. And we kind of played on that. And we've sold over, I think at this point, probably over 10 million donuts
Wow.
worldwide. So yeah, that's just been a really good
It's
success for us.
amazing.
And when you see the donut, it's the paws. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys put the donut toys on the map.
Yes, and we've had a lot of imitators, and people who have come before us too. But I selfishly think that ours is still the best donut, even
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think. I got my dog in 2013, and it was like 2016, 2017. Somebody just bought us a donut toy, and it was like it immediately became her favorite toy. And she just loved
Amazing.
to play tug of war, and it was like really, you could get a good grip on it because it had
Yeah,
like the hole
yeah.
in it. And
Right.
then you could
Like the
throw it and it
perfect
would
size.
roll and it
Mhm.
squeaked. And yeah, she just loved it until she destroyed it. And then we had to get another one.
Yeah, you have to have another one on deck.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But they always like to carry around the ratty, old, beat up one. Like my dog likes to get rid of the squeaker. Like the first 5 minutes, she'll make sure the squeaker doesn't squeak, and then she'll like take out the squeaker and carry the dead skin around.
Yeah, yeah.
That's her thing. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
instinctual for maybe
Yeah.
Dalmatians and other
They're
dogs like
they're adorable little murderers they are.
that. That is true.
We're talking about dogs. Don't take me out of context. So. Awesome. So, how did you come up with the name of the business, and what's driving sales today? Are you guys doing a lot of marketing? I mean, it sounds like you're kind of more standalone than Amazon or probably eBay these days, right?
Yeah, I'll start with how we came up with the name. I wanted to stand out from the rest of the brands in the pet industry. I use the word pod because it can be used for dogs and cats.
Hmm.
I knew I wanted to start with dog toys, but I didn't want to box myself into just dogs. So I used paws. Dogs and cats all have paws. Zippy, I wanted to bring to life my dog at the time, my golden retriever JJ. I wanted to bring his liveliness and how he runs around in the yard. He was just like super fast, and I thought the word zippy was really a great descriptor of how he
Hmm.
was, and I loved having the Z, and I thought it really stood out against the other toy brands and other brands in the industry, and it was just like was different. So that's why I landed on Zippy Paws. Sometimes when you're seeing it, people are like, wait, what was that again? Because it's just a word that you don't hear all the time. But and speaking of sales, currently we started on Amazon when we in 2011, but we really shifted towards more retail, whether that's independent store chains, big box stores like Target or Walgreens, or just like pet specialty chains like or franchises like Wolfgang Bakery and things like that. So
Hmm.
we really our most of our business is in stores. Um, and we still are on Amazon and Chewy and those online platforms, but it's still just a small percentage of our sales
Hmm.
currently. And now we definitely just still focus on our designs and coming up with new products. Like we just came out with a line of snufflers where you can roll up a toy and put treats in there. So the dogs have to go in and work for their treats. So we're always trying to innovate in existing categories or something that's like outside the box. We try to focus on the high quality designs. But as for marketing, we do try to uh, you know excuse me. As for marketing, we do think outside the box too. Like we have some sponsorships that we do. One is with the LAFC currently, the Los Angeles Football
Oh,
Club.
cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they have a very impassioned fan base, and they love soccer and they love their pets. So we try to do some community events like that, where we had a community event in a brewery locally in Los Angeles, and we had adoptable dogs, and we had a LAFC player come in and speak. So we just try to use our connections in the industry to kind of reach to more pet parents locally if we
Hmm.
can. And we also do some licensing. So, for example, we have the Marvel license, and we do Spider-Man toys, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy to help reach those pet parents who, you know, love the Marvel universe.
Hmm. Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, I I uh I have I thought of a content idea while you were talking. Maybe you've already done this. You have three awesome dogs and you're making cool new toys and products all the time. I would think just like a recurring series of your dogs testing out the new toys. Like, do they like it? How quickly do they destroy it? Like,
That's fun. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I've been wanting to do more where, I show more of my life and kind of behind the scenes of the business.
mm,
I'm trying to also with my own podcast, showing, interviewing people in the company and things like that. But for me, it is a little hard to put myself out there. It just doesn't come naturally for me. But I think that's a
yeah.
great idea, to have people, see how our toys are and get to know my dogs because I think they're really funny. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, I would thank you. I would say you're a natural. I mean, you're explaining everything like incredibly clearly and in an engaging way, and your passion for and love for animals like is undeniable. So and you're partnered with your dad and women business owners are very inspiring. I would think, yeah, that's like a home run. The more kind of your
More,
story
yeah,
and
story come
passion you
out. Yeah,
share.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, I have been practicing speaking. That's why, I thank you so much for inviting me on your show. So I have an
yeah.
opportunity to practice even more. So the more you practice, the more it comes naturally. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Cool. Well, we are coming towards the end of our time together. I have one final question for you. It is an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like. And the question is, what are you working towards?
Yeah, so so many things I'm working towards, as any founder would probably tell you.
Yeah.
Um, right now, this year, we had an unexpected change in our industry, which is the tariffs in the beginning of the year.
Mm,
That was definitely very challenging for us. Not knowing, the price of our goods really puts a wrench in the way that we do business and,
mhm,
the orders that we've already taken and, how we can prepare for the end of the year because Q3, Q4, we sell a lot of toys in those 2 months and those 2 quarters just because of, the holiday season. So that was very challenging for us. We've had to make some changes in our business. We have to made some changes to our team where we focus on, focus on sales and maybe a little bit less on the other not important things. So we definitely had to make a lot of changes. Right now, my goal is to make sure that we've kind of like cut back to the studs, I guess, and rebuild on top of that. It's been next year we're gonna celebrate 15 years of ZippyPaws.
wow.
So I want to really think about I've been really thinking about what the last 15 years have been like and what I want to be in another 15 years. And it is a little daunting because I'm in the trenches like every single day. So I've been really thinking about where I want to be for the next 15 years and what that's going to look like and what type of channels are going to be mm, for us. Because what has previously worked for me in the maybe last 5 years or 10 years might not even be what is going to help us in the next. So I've been really,
Mhm.
that's what I've been thinking about. But we have our core focuses. I'm gonna focus on those things. Like I said, the designs, the high quality materials. We're actually thinking of using new materials, like doing ZippyPod's proprietary fabrics, and that's something that I'm working
Cool.
on. And I think in the next 5 years, I really want to expand into other categories that previously may have not thought about pet too much, like grocery
Mhm.
stores, truck stops, convenience stores. So all those new channels. So that is one thing that I'm heavily focusing on right now and working towards.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so exciting. You are you're a great founder. You're thinking in really exciting ways.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean,
Man.
I want to keep. That's why right now we're kind of gearing up for that. So we're making sure that our SKU count is lower, so that we're not presenting of so many toys to them. We're just going down back to basics, what we do best, and then this way, when we're expanding, we have room to grow, and we're not
Mhm.
bogged down with processes or excess inventory, things like that. So we're kind of
Yeah.
downsizing so that we can, shoot up. So hopefully
Mhm.
that's the case in the next couple of years.
That's so cool. That's really exciting and inspiring, and we'll be excited to keep watching you on your journey. Where can my audience find out more about you and everything y'all are working on?
Yes, so our Twitter handle, or not Twitter handle, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and ZippyPaws. You can find our products at ZippyPaws.com. And I also host a Dog Mom podcast. So on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, where I interview the other women in the industry, also men. I allow dog dads to be on my show as well. And I try to showcase a little bit behind the scenes of Zippy Paws on the podcast as well.
hmm Awesome. Awesome. We will link all of those in the show notes. Jen, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. I really, really enjoyed meeting you and getting to know you better. And yeah, very, very impressed with everything you have done so far. And sounds like you're just getting started. So
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for inviting me.
my pleasure. To all our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in and keep on growing out there, everybody. See ya.